One thing that I want you to remember, okay, this is very important. If I were to ask you any question, do you like pepperoni? And you raise your hand, okay? Are you saying I only like pepperoni at that point? No. It could be that you like other toppings as well. So every time you do a Venn diagram, always keep in mind, if they don't say only, that you're just in the pepperoni section, but you could also be in the other section. You could be in any of the other sections. So don't be thinking it's the only, okay? So here we go, 19. Tashi asked 80 people if they like vanilla or chocolate ice cream. That's my universal. My universal is 80. 90 people did not like either flavor. Those are what we call outliers, right? And what's the notation that we use for outliers? We're using vanilla and chocolate. So I'm going to go here and just say V stands for vanilla, C stands for chocolate. And therefore, outliers, go ahead. Outliers would be number of elements that are in neither one of those two camps, right? That's the proper notation for outliers. Okay. So I know that that's 9. And so basically 71 are left. 71 are left to be put in one of those sections, right? 11 people like both vanilla and chocolate, so the notation for that one is vanilla and chocolate. We know that this is the intersection, right? So we know that these are joint sets. A lot of things we know right now. So 11. 20 people liked only vanilla. There's that highlight-worthy word of only like vanilla. So it's basically saying vanilla, not chocolate. So how would we refer to that section? Using the notation, we would say vanilla, but not chocolate. That's 20. Okay. So kind of reviewed notation here real quick. Hope you can see that. So I'm going to start my Venn. I know they overlap. I know I'm going to have a box around it. My universal is 80. We've got vanilla and chocolate. And remember, we need to now fill in the appropriate spaces. The outliers are 9. I'm going to make sure they show up here. And people that like both is 11, so that goes in here. 20 like only vanilla. Where would that go? It doesn't go up here. Doesn't go here. It goes here. Okay. It goes in that only section. So if you're anywhere in here, you only like vanilla, you don't like chocolate. Okay. So now you can like zoom out. Now you can like, it's a ripple effect. If you have the middle, usually it fills in just like that. So we know that 20 and 11, that would mean that this number here should be 31. I don't know this one because I also don't know the people that like chocolate, right? So we're a bit of in a state where we have to do a little bit of pie, right? Principle of inclusion and exclusion. So how many people liked only chocolate? So instead of focusing on this, focus on what could I find. So I'm going to say this. Pie tells me that if I were to go this route, sorry, I'm having a hard time today. What's happening? Let's do this again. NV plus NC minus NV and C, right? Like this is what pi basically states. This is one of the formulas that I like you to know. So, or we know that we go 80 minus the 9, okay? We only want what's in the sets here, so we take away the outliers every time. So V is 31. V is 31. I've done the math. I figured it out, okay? Plus N of C, I don't know what it is. You can call that X if you want. Minus the overlap is 11. I do know the overlap. So there's only one unknown. So that's 71 is equal to 31 minus 11 is 20 plus n of c. And now you subtract 20 from both sides. So that leaves me 51 is equal to n of c. This is important because now you get to take this, bring it over here, right? That is 51. That's what you just found. And now we go 51 minus 11 to give us 40. And in this case, note that the Venn diagram itself is not, they never asked for it, but I just naturally do it. So now your final statement, 40 people liked only chocolate. Okay. This is the final answer that you were able to come up with. Did anybody use any of the other formulas? Because there are other formulas that I gave you. There's one more that you could have used. What are you talking about? I just remember binge watching my shows. That's all I remember. Not me. Okay. So on page 12, you could have used this would have been vanilla only, chocolate only, plus the intersection. Like remember, they're all plussing, adding. And this would still be 80 minus 9. So if you use this one, you would have arrived to the same conclusion, okay? I tend to just stick with this one because I don't want to, sometimes too many options makes it too complicated, right? You're like, what should I use? I'm here to tell you that, right, if you have the middle and a little bit of extra information, you will be able to figure this out. Is it fair to say this? Hold on. I think it's fair to say that when it's a two set, that they will give you all sections. How many sections are there? There's this section, and this section. So 3 plus the outliers. There's 4 sections that technically you should be able to fill in. And then we obviously come up with these numbers later. But you should have 3 out of the 4 somehow given. And if not, there should be a way to figure it out. Okay. All right. This one, Ryan. Ryan asked 30 friends what their favorite sport was. So universal is 30. 16 said they liked soccer. That just means this, okay? Like, I like soccer, yeah. I'm going to raise my hand for this one. 21 said they liked volleyball. There's no volleyball, but not soccer. It's just volleyball. So N of V is 21. 13 said they liked both. So the intersection is 13. Okay, so how many friends did not like either of the options? I think this one we'll be able to do without pi. Okay, so we'll do this and this. Soccer, that would be 16. Volleyball, 21. Now you get to put them outside. U is 30. I know the intersection. And now I will just fill in the rest. So 16 minus 13, that means that 3 only like soccer, right? Three people that answered here is like soccer only, nothing else, right? 21 minus 13, that gives us 8. So 8 people only like volleyball, nothing else from these options here. And so they're asking for this. How many friends did not like either option? So they're asking for the outliers. They're asking for this. Soccer or volleyball don't like either of them. Okay. So how could you do this? I'm just going to give you this choice here. I'm going to go 30, my universal, and I'm going to start taking away what's in here, and that'll leave me with the outliers. So I'm going to go minus 3, minus 13, minus 8. And so that would be 6. 6 friends. I'm just going to circle that and just let everyone know that's my final answer. 6 friends did not like either of those. And that is always an important check. If you, right, I'm going to go arrow to the question mark because we didn't know it right from the top. But if you add up the 4 sections that I talked about, you should end up with 30. If you don't, you made a mistake, right? You got to go back. If you get negatives ever, you made a mistake. Go back. You shouldn't have negatives in there. Okay? Like let's say you do the math and you get that the center here is 17. Then it's 16 minus 17, that'd be negative 1 in here, right? That just doesn't make sense. Okay? So you gotta watch out for that. Any other questions before I move on? No questions? All right. All right. Okay. I'm going to stop this here.